Making a grand entrance to show off your Jaguars jersey there? Is that what that is? You can't see anything.
Oh, damn it. Hold on.
Just looking at Ronnie's butt. Just looking at Ronnie's butt. That's all it is. There we go. The Tebow jersey.
This was a gift from a friend of the program, Jeff, that I did never ask for, but got anyway. So catch me at the next Jags game at a bar near you. I'll be repping the Jags.
There you go.
This fool makes the team. Welcome in, everybody.
Shout out, Jeff.
Shout out DHgate for just making outrageous jersey trolling a real possibility. Now that we find out you can get any jersey ever made or that hasn't even been made yet for $15. Just the fake jerseys are flying around.
Just flying everywhere.
But I'll cherish this one. I will put it right next to my Ingram throwback Minneapolis jersey.
There we go.
Anyway, thank you guys for joining us. Hit us up in the comments. Hit us at the link. Give us a call. As you can see in the title, we are coming up upon the last weekend of the Olympics. Unfortunately, will be missed. But, silver lining. It's one less year to wait now after this one because the whole what have you. Tyler, how are you doing on this Friday?
Winter Olympics next year, 3 years the next Summer Olympics, man. It's all good.
It's going to fly right by.
Doing good. Glad to be back here, after we took Wednesday off so we could both watch the Max Scherzer debut for the Dodgers. And I got to watch the shot put final where Ryan Krauser just absolutely destroyed everybody.
Unit.
Glad to be back here. Looking forward to a good weekend of sports. As you said, the final weekend of the Olympics. I'll be sad about that, but my sleep schedule will be grateful that this is over.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. It's bittersweet. The sweet part is that I will actually sleep normally again.
Yeah.
Especially on the weekends. That's when it hits the hardest because I pretty much have to recover all day Sunday from sleeping a combined 2.5 hours over the previous 2 nights.
Just completely useless otherwise. But Ron, how you doing today?
Doing well. Obviously.
Yeah, duh.
Got the Tebow authentic. Look, you can tell by the tags.
Tebow doesn't even have that, and you have it.
I know. So yeah, when I opened it, I was like, "Damn it! All right, I'll rock it. I'll rock it." But no, thank you for the gift, and I got to clap back now. So I'll see what I can come up with. Something got to be coming back that way, Jeff. So you're on notice. But no, overall, a good day.
So keep an eye out half a year from now.
Yeah. Well, it's a slow boat from China.
If you order it now, it'll be here by the time his birthday comes around.
Yeah. Trying to get ahead of the game. But the only day, actually probably ever, that I will go to the office, or what currently still is the office for the place I work now, because they're getting rid of it. Their lease is up. So I just went in there to get a monitor, and it's just weird. All right, first day I've ever walked in here, and the last day. Way out in Sorrento Valley. But, it was a cool spot. It definitely, I would say, if I had started just working there, then it would probably be normal. But, the nature of what I'm doing, of, just listening to a lot of stuff or, reading stuff in detail, would kind of, it was just cubicles. I'd be like, that might be kind of distracting. So it is a little more, quiet at the house, except for the chickens or ghetto bird or whatever else goes on in the street. But beyond that, it's a little easier to concentrate here at the house. So that was cool. And we'll see. Yeah, I know they're already. So we will talk about this with the fight doctor a little bit later on, possibly the fight phlebotomist if we get in touch with him. But UFC 256 this weekend, and everything is on a rolling 2 weeks ahead deal with the DraftKings. So we did the ads for that a couple weeks ago, and those will be coming out. Well, they should already be out.
I would hope they're out. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Well, I'm like I said, I'm on a skewed timeline, but the one that we're doing this week is the college football starts one. So
yeah, there we
excited for it's a nice like when things are going to happen, but then it's just like a little reminder, like, oh yeah, there's always some more sports going on. And all you Olympic
Right.
haters out there, I feel like you're going to be sad until that gets going. You don't know what you got till it's gone if you can't just turn
Mm.
on and watch some speed climbing at 3 a.m.
Dude, I gotta say this: the DJ, really at most of the events, but particularly at the speed climbing, has just been like it's like a rave without the people. Like the DJ is putting in so much effort for having nobody there to like get hyped by whatever they're playing.
I have noticed the DJing at the volleyball, beach volleyball. It's just, which is even
They
weirder because they have built that whole stadium, but obviously people can't be there. But he's still right in the middle, just like,
they had a DJ at the archery competitions that was dropping like Daft Punk like nonstop. I was like, all right, I can go with that.
if that's what gets you in the mood to shoot some arrows, all right. No, and it does suck for Tokyo, but I mean, I'm glad it appears they will be able to pull this thing off at least to completion. But definitely, I can only assume a massive financial loss due to the circumstances.
Yeah.
And some of the
Yeah, most
venues
likely.
look tight. I mean, Tokyo, it's not really like Brazil where they had to like build a bunch of stuff. I mean, they probably had to build some of these things, but a lot of it was probably already there. The boxing one looks pretty sick. Like just the venue. I don't know what it probably is a place that normally has boxing or wrestling or something.
I was gonna say, aren't they doing that at is that at a Saitama Super Arena?
It's smaller than that though. It looks like an
Is it?
old school, like it looks like it should be like filled up with smoke, kind of old school boxing, like
Or could they be
just
doing that
up on top of you.
that maybe at Corkin Hall as well? I don't know.
We're efforting.
Yeah.
But it's a cool looking venue. The golf course is really nice. The Baron and I were kind of wondering, like, did they just not let anyone use the golf course for the last year? Because it looks like it's like carpet out there. And the volleyball one, that's obviously probably not there all the time, but they had built a giant stadium for the beach volleyball. So definitely a bummer, that fans could not really go. I saw a little bit of fans during the speed walking, which was pretty great.
Yeah, that's right.
Man, what an event! What an event! The thing that really was like stood out to me was if someone is way out in front of you and you can't catch them, how like insane must that make you go? Like, if I could just walk harder.
Right? Yeah. How much harder can you try? Yeah.
They just can't close the gap. Like, oh, he's running, and then they come out with like a little yellow card.
I did like yeah, there were some good tweets the last couple of days because they've had what I think 3 speed walk races the last 3 days. I did see some good tweets about it. One was just somebody saying like, man, that guy's looking like he's like really got to go take a shit, and you see the speed walk, and then he just stops and actually gets into a porta potty onto the side of the street, which was pretty funny. And then I saw our boy Jason Smith saying like how like super into it he's getting. He's like, man, I'm looking at these guys like somebody's got to be lifting their feet, right? Somebody's got to have a foot off the ground.
Or yeah, I'm just waiting like someone to just like snap and just take off running. And like, what are they gonna do?
Yeah,
like they're all still athletic enough to do that for 2 hours straight. So they could probably just take off running, but they're just like, God, if I could just walk faster.
The sad thing is those guys probably walk faster than my fat ass can run. Like they could probably beat me in just a straight up race if I was trying to run and they were just race walking.
No, they walk pretty fast. But that was kind of cool just because it's funny to watch. And then also there was some fans out there sort of on the street, at least a little bit. So it looked like
some details about the golf course.
Oh, all right. Our insider on the Olympic golf venue. And also I did go ahead and find out where they are doing the boxing. It is the Ryogoku Sumo Hall. So it's actually used for
Sumo Hall.
wrestling.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah,
but it is a very cool, just like old school, like perfect square around the ring and just goes up like 2 levels.
Yeah, that's where I think 3 of the big sumo matches are held. New Japan does like 3 or 4 big shows there a year. So yeah, it's a good hall there. I like it.
Well, speaking of, while we are on the topic of the Olympics, let's take a look at the medal count as of the start of the program. which is certainly going to be changing during. Hopefully, I get to see some of the basketball, which I did not realize was going on right now during the show.
I didn't either until like right before the show. I saw the
just assumed
schedule.
it would be like 11 o'clock at night. I'm like, okay, cool. I don't have to work tomorrow. I'll stay up and watch it. But yeah, basketball's going right now, so no spoilers. Although I may be checking the score. But
I can give you an update if you want it.
I don't know if I want. All right, give me the update.
USA up 30-24, 7-11 left in the second.
All right, good. Very good. Man, speaking of also that semifinal game, freaking Ricky Rubio was going insane. Like,
yeah,
they would have won by like 50 points if it wasn't for Rubio. Like, everything he was throwing up, like, it seemed like the more ridiculous shot he put up, the more likely it was to go in. Which also, Ricky Rubio, he came into the league very young. I think it was like 17 or 18. So it seems like he's been around forever. I know he's not actually like super, super old, but he's getting up there. Maybe let's just go with like Rick or Rich Rubio now. Like, he's got a full-on beard and everything going. Ricky doesn't really seem like it applies anymore.
Yeah, that's how he stays young.
Man, he was just cooking him. That was driving me crazy. I mean, USA definitely in the last two games has played a little bit better. It seems like they've kind of sort of figured out the give and take of playing on, with all these guys now on the same team. But, man, Rubio single-handedly was just keeping them in the game.
Well, I also think actually earlier today I saw a quote from Dame Lillard talking about how he actually thinks that the playing by the FIBA rules is way tougher than the NBA because it's a much more physical game. Like, the refs aren't so quick to call fouls in the Olympics. So, I think kind of once the USA figured that adjustment out, they've started to play much better. But yeah, I mean, look, I'm glad they found their stride. There was definitely some concerns, obviously, with their preseason efforts, losing to Nigeria, Australia, and didn't they lose a third preseason game? I don't even remember.
Well, they lost the first
opening game.
They lost to France, yeah. So revenge season, let's go. But no,
yeah,
it is funny to watch the refereeing because it seems like you can kind of do whatever you want down by the basket, but also you can just like stop and just stand in front of someone at half court, like when they're running full speed, and sometimes you get the call. Like, some of that is insane. I don't know what's going on. But good on them. I hope they go on and win this gold because we all know the women are going to win again, like 7 times in a row, I think. Oh, also, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to comment on the medal stand. So you can see the U.S. Made up a little bit of ground on China in the gold medals. Obviously, overall medal tally, U.S. is running away with it. I got to say one thing is the men's track and field is normally where the U.S. just absolutely just brings in tons and tons of gold medals. And they didn't get their first one until Ryan Krauser won the shot put on Wednesday. So definitely a bit of disappointment this year as far as the men's track and field normally not cleaning up like they do. Kind of one of the big reasons why they're in second in that gold medal count. But hey, look, maybe this will piss them off and make them, just come out and kill it at 2024. Hopefully at 2028 as well, and hopefully we can be there for that.
Of course, 2028, yes. I'm definitely going to be there for something. Even if it's, I know they're doing the canoeing at Lake Paris. So
yes!
A little even closer to my house in L.A. Excuse me. And, yes, I would even go to that. Like if I'd watch it on TV, obviously I would go to it.
I'd totally be there live. I won't fully commit to it, but I would even say if I could be there live and there was nothing else I could go to, I might go to the dressage. Maybe.
Yeah. That's a maybe. I don't know about dressage. I don't know about hockey.
If it's the only thing I go to live, or like I had to go to that to get tickets to something else live, I would do it.
Yeah, I mean, just to say I went to the Olympics, and I don't even know how the ticket thing works for the Olympics because it's not like an NFL game or something where season ticket holders get priority, blah, 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 whatever. I'm sure there's a lot of comp tickets because of sponsors and stuff like that, but still, the size of the venues and the amount of venues and events, I would assume there's a way that we can get tickets. So look forward to that, 2028. And I would say, they as Tyler pointed out, closing the gap a little bit in the gold medal race. Looks like safely ahead in the total medals. But we got basketball going on. We got a final there. Super heavyweight boxing. My guy Torres.
That's right.
The Tulare Terror.
Tulare Terror, yes.
Which please watch that tomorrow night. I think it's at, I believe, like 11 p.m. But also, please do look it up for yourself because clearly I didn't even know when the basketball game was on. So it's very confusing schedule-wise. But cannot recommend enough. Anyone that's going for a gold medal that's from Tulare, you know I got to represent for that. And plus, just throw in as a bonus super heavyweight boxing. Like, this might be my favorite guy in the whole Olympics.
Super heavy boxing, just two guys just standing there, just trading, because they're not avoiding anything. They're not shucking and jiving. They're just like standing there and just, all right, who can take more punishment? That's all this is.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's boxing technique involved, but when I saw his semifinal fight, I was like, oh man, he's getting after it. Like, he's just getting in there. He's taking them and giving them right back. But we'll see what happens there. Anyway, what I was going to say is, yes, closing the gap, but also China probably having, I would assume, the second or third most athletes in, across all events, probably has a shot at one or two more gold medals at least. So I don't know. We'll see if the U.S. can catch China. But again, soccer has come home. Speaking of my beloved Mexico, did not bring it home, and Canada did, though. I mean, Canada brought it back to the continents, so to the colonies. So shout out to them with just an organized. I don't think they scored any goals in the run of play.
They did. They did not score a non-penalty goal throughout the whole tournament.
But it was kind of sad. The Swedish captain just blazing that one over the crossbar. I thought, like, oh God, she got this locked up, and that would have won it. So she sailed it way over. That would have been the clinching one. That's right. Then Canada came back and scored. They saved another one and then scored again and won. But shout out again for the most part. Mexico did get the bronze, so for the most part, soccer has come home. That's all I'm saying. CONCACAF represent. We taking over this whole shit.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, look, shout out to the U.S. I don't know if you watched the women's bronze medal game, the U.S. Australia 4-3. Real defensive struggle there, 4-3.
Yeah, I saw that they finally let it go and scored some goals.
But about time you guys finally about time you finally let it go when you're playing for third. But shout out to them for getting the third place, and shout out to Canada. I mean, I definitely thought Sweden was going to win that, but got into penalties with a 0-0 tie, and then winning 3-2 in a not a great penalty shootout, but definitely exciting. I mean, I think mostly just because it's gold medal, so every shot you're kind of like holding your breath to see what's going to happen. But yeah, shout out to them for bringing it back to CONCACAF, man. Gotta love it.
Yeah, to your point on the shootout, I was watching it and I was like, okay, well, it was on live in the morning when I got up to get ready for work. I was like, all right, I'm gonna stay watching this, and then it was just it was long and exciting, but it was just like, man, it's not a great shootout by any means.
No.
But with everything at stake and it's still going to be a memorable one. And first, I believe it is the first gold medal that Canada's ever won in women's soccer. So shout out to them.
Yeah, I believe Canada is the first team to win gold in both men's and women's. The men's won in 1904, and then the women win in 2021.
If you're ever curious, go back and look up the record, the year by year of Olympic soccer, because it was weird at first. It was really
really weird.
There was 2 U.S. teams in one, and there was a tournament where there was a total of 5 teams, total. It's just weird. Last thing I have for the Olympics, which I saw the highlight, but Tyler gave me the context on this. Shout out Gable Stevenson, just busting a miraculous move to win the heavyweight wrestling gold medal. And really, and I have the one with no sound, so we could talk over it, so don't worry. But just the way that it was done, It's kind of, I had to do it in the box. I don't want to get sued or shut down. But he's down 3 here. I don't know why the Georgia guy kind of went for the takedown at that point. Like when you just sort of run around and like.
No, I mean, this is just kind of. I think honestly, he was too tired to really run around. So this was just kind of his way to time waste. There you see Stevenson gets 2 points for the control takedown there. I mean, just look at him. He can barely even get up. He is just done.
And this is
now,
the
here
move.
We go.
This is the move right here.
Here we've got it's about 7 seconds left. Drops down to the knee. Stevenson just hustle.
Get after him.
Gets the control. That is literally at the buzzer when he secured the 2 points. I was telling Ron, like, I've watched a ton of wrestling over my years. I've never seen somebody score the winning points at the buzzer before. That was, and it obviously for the context, a gold freaking medal. Like, that's just insane.
At the buzzer too. Yeah. I mean, that, like I was pointing out to Tyler, that fool's fast. He is very, very fast on his feet and at the end of a match too, to still like go after that guy. Yes, the Georgia guy looked like he was kind of gassed out, but as they say,
fuck what they're talking about. USA in this whole.
And we will get into that a little bit later. But
Gable Stevenson. Stevenson looked 2-time NCAA champion. He hasn't even really been contested at the NCAA level. Like, you could see the athleticism. He's got the gas tank, obviously. Nobody's really been able to touch him. He's been in the WWE's eye for probably about 2 or 3 years now. That's kind of the thought of like, okay, that's what his post collegiate wrestling career is going to be. Although Dana White probably going to come in and throw a bunch of money at him because they could always use heavyweight fighters. He's entertaining as hell. Like, he can do promos. He's athletic. After the match, he did a cartwheel into a backflip out on the mat. So he's about to get paid by some big company.
Someone's going to pay him. I mean, you can't really start off your life after Olympics career any better than coming in with a gold medal, because then that has life outside of when people just normally like, oh yeah, I know about him for like 2 weeks in the summer every 4 years. So like that's something you can take and parlay into quite a nice little payday. So shout out to him.
So either WWE fans or UFC fans, get ready. You're going to know Gable Stevenson for the next few years.
Get down or lay down, or get chased down. That fool's a menace. Yeah. I know Jaime had pointed out earlier that, yes, unfortunately, it looks like it finally has come to an end. Messi at Barcelona with the very long tenure there. And unfortunately, looks like he's going to PSG, but go get paid. He's got his international trophy now.
Well, he needs the money,
He definitely needs the money. I mean, probably going to have like 4 or 5 more tax lawsuits coming at him from one of these countries before it's all said and done. So stack those chips now. But the side note on that is, because he's gone now, the longest-serving one-club man in the top 5 leagues, Mr. Mark Noble himself.
That's right, the captain. Captain, my captain.
Oh, captain, my captain.
Who actually is going into this will be his final season, which actually starts next week is when the Premier League kicks off.
Yeah, it's coming back
West Ham will be playing this weekend. They will be playing against Atalanta for the prestigious Betway Cup.
Yes.
So might have to try and catch that one tomorrow morning. But yeah, shout out to our boy Nobes, longest tenured man in the top 5 divisions.
Get in, Nobes. And then just some other movement here. Well, I mean, it's been pretty much out there since even before the Euros, but Grealish is going to Man City. Again, one of those teams that just has all the money. So not surprised. I don't know. I mean, like, they were already good, so it's not really like you got to come in there like, oh, expectations are going to be super high. I mean, they will be, but like they'll be fine even if he flops.
The expectations won't be on one player. It's on everybody because their whole team is ridiculous.
Right. And that seems to make it a little easier to come into a team like that too. So I don't really expect him to just flop. He's been in the Premier League, wildly successful on a much lesser team than this. So can't really see him going anywhere but up with this move.
Yeah, and like it could still only get better. Like I know it was reported about a week or 2 ago that Kane will be going to Man City. something's come up between then where that move hasn't been official, but it's kind of expected, like it's going to happen. So yeah, just add, maybe the top player in the league in there as well, along with Grealish on top of the stack team they already had. Give Man City the trophy for the Premier League. Nobody's going to beat them, but I mean they're looking Champions League. Like it's Champions League or bust for them. So
I did just circling back real quick to Messi. I did see some pretty entertaining TalkSport clips from like jaded, especially great one from some Man United fan that was like, he won't
Messi
hack
couldn't
it.
hack it.
He won't hack it in the Premier League. Like, I'm glad we don't have him. Like, wow, that is the hottest take I've ever heard. Glad we don't have Messi on our team. All right,
Yeah.
Stick
we
to
don't
your
want that
guns,
guy.
Stick to your guns.
Oh no, like believe me, I heard plenty of when the Kane to United thing first broke a week or two ago. There was a lot of just tons of Liverpool fans like, nah, we wouldn't want Kane on our team anyways.
Good.
Like,
We don't.
Yeah,
need
you
him.
would. You would totally want Kane on your team.
England's
Like,
number
let's
9. No, he's a bum. He's a bum.
A guy that is on pace. Granted, he'd still have to play for like 13 more years, but on pace to be the all-time goal scorer in the Premier League. Nah, we don't want him.
Nah. We could do without him. I mean, that's good. And then in even bigger soccer news, tomorrow, beloved San Diego Loyal back in action against Real Monarchs. I will not be at this game, but I will be at I believe, next week's game. And then CEO Nick and I will have to decide if we are going to re-up our mini plan or not.
Continue your investments.
So I will be watching closely. You got 2 weeks to show me something if you want this money.
I believe that's the Monarchs. Isn't that the Real Salt Lake's number 2 team?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, look, you did good against the last, Premier League or not Premier League, MLS subdivision team beating Galaxy. So
I think what you said was right. I mean, really, we're pretty much in Premier League.
That's yeah. This is definitely.
Who's got all the trophies? Who's got all the trophies?
That's true. Right on par.
Best players come from the continents.
Yeah, there we go. Look, we'll see if you got a nice two-game win streak going now, I believe, or is it one? Is it 1 or 2? No, you lost 2 and just won 1 again.
That's they're on a 1 game. So 2 in a row. Yeah. That's what's called
winning
a streak.
There we go.
Shout out Major League. One of the classics.
I'm sure that's what Landon is saying to all the players in the locker room.
Hear me out. And Jaime's back. Jaime the Greek coming in, loyal over Monarchs. I like it.
Here we go.
Let's do it. At home. I just realized, too, with this still obviously ridiculous Tebow jersey, but the colors kind of match up. I feel like I can wear this to the Loyal game.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Just slide right in there.
Hey, look, I'm sure Tebow's got a massive following in San Diego, so I'm sure they love that.
Wherever he goes. I think he's already got like 2 best-selling books. So, first Jags game of the year. I'm going out somewhere and I'm watching it, rocking this Tebow shirt. Let's
and I'll tell you, sir, we can't put the Jaguars game on because nobody wants to watch it.
This is an outrage. Let's just hit a little NBA offseason news here before we check in with the fight doctor and close this thing out. Well, actually, no. A couple little baseball things. Ramon Laureano, a.k.a. Razor Ramon. Man. Sorry, Baron. Sorry. I don't know what else to say, but that stings. 80 games.
Yeah, that's the rest of this season. That's the start of next season. That's probably assuming they can make the playoffs. That's the playoffs too. So, that's tough. I mean, he's not, not some amazing bat, but there's no doubt that dude in the outfield, his glove is outstanding.
And arm.
So that's definitely gonna hurt.
One of the most entertaining arms in the MLB outfield anywhere.
Which I also don't know if you saw what it was that he tested positive for.
I did not.
So it was nandrolone, which that is a steroid that was very popular in like the 80s and 90s. Something that like you can only get through injection. So it's like kind of like, okay, there's no real defense for like, some old school steroid that had to be taken, through injection. It's basically like it's the kind of stuff that like the shady dude at your gym sells out of his trunk. That's
Yeah.
that's what we're talking about. So, I don't imagine there's going to be a good appeal to this. But hey, there you go, Brandon. Like you said, that's why they got Marte, right? They just got Marte, so that'll be okay. Who also, strangely enough, a few years ago got busted for nandrolone.
God.
So, what? It just time is a flat circle, right?
Well, now that they had to kind of save face after the what have you of just the free for all Wild West of not testing for steroids and acting like they didn't know what was going on forever. We have seen the suspensions kind of start to taper off. So even if it's not nandrolone, like in this day and age, I feel like it's hard to have any kind of recourse if you get caught. Like not that many guys getting caught these days.
No, it's not. But again, that sucks for the A's. I'm an A's well wisher. I kind of always hope they make the playoffs, so hopefully they can keep going. And the A's are kind of a team that they'll find a way to do it. It's just always like a bunch of random guys that just kind of like peak during the season. Now, once they get to the playoffs, they kind of fall apart. But
unless they're playing the Twins.
Yes,
but,
yeah.
Unfortunately, this year, probably not going to happen.
Twins decided to fall apart before the playoffs happened. But look, hopefully we can get through it and at least get one of those wild card spots.
And then this isn't really any baseball news, but it just caught my eye. This guy, $80,000 on a random Rockies game in early August to win by 2, I guess, and they won by 1. So 80,000 gone like that. But I mean, again, this guy obviously has the money, so it's only a problem if he can't afford it. Clearly, he can afford it.
Look, I mean, if you're placing a bet on the Rockies to win, you're already having a laugh, as they say across the pond.
Yeah.
And like I said, if you're placing 80,000, that tells me you can afford the 80,000, whatever, however much it was. Definitely. Look, I usually don't try to make stupid bets. I've made a couple stupid ones. I don't think I've ever made one quite like that before.
That's just like, LOL. You think I won't do it? Boom! I just bet it.
Exactly.
80 grand. Oh man! I thought the Rockies were due. So as I mentioned earlier, let's hit a little NBA offseason. I know we still have the gold medal game going on. Tyler, if you want to hit an update on that.
44-38 with 30 seconds left in the first half.
Okay, perfect.
USA's winning.
I would hope so. If they're not winning, just say, are you sure you want to know? And then I'll just say no. But Kevin Durant, obviously the best player on the team in this iteration of Team USA, looks like he is going to sign a 4-year extension, right around $200 million, keeping the Nets super team together. Not really surprised by that. He made a big deal about getting that team put together, so it would kind of be stupid to just bail out on it at this point and start over somewhere else. But I mean the Nets didn't get there last year, but still, I mean, you got to think they're going to be a factor for several years to come. So we will see.
That would have been great if he was just like, "Oh no, I just said that to see if you guys would do it. I didn't plan on staying. Come on."
Nah. With me, you get one shot. I was hurt that one year. All right, this is it now. This is the one shot. No, we didn't make it. Bums. Get me out of here.
You only get one chance with Edna Krabappel. But I mean, again, not much of a surprise. Good on him. Get paid, get some nice years out of it. We'll see. I imagine, after this contract is up, he'll still be a pretty valuable player. So he'll be able to, if he wants to extend past that, he can. But just again, get used to seeing that big 3 in Brooklyn. I don't think we're going away anytime soon.
Well, the Lakers have the big old 7 now, so maybe that'll prove to be a foil. But I'm also worried about the Bucks now that they finally just got over that mental hurdle. I feel like obviously they're the reigning champions, and this might just be the beginning of like at least 2 or 3 years of them just kicking ass.
Possibly. I mean, you got to worry about that. The Suns, I don't know if Chris Paul will have consistently have the games he did this postseason, but most of the Suns are still really young and they're only going to get better. So you got to watch out for them too. So there's definitely some interesting lineups in the NBA for the next foreseeable future. We'll say that.
The Suns are still going to be good. They're definitely going to be in the playoffs, probably a higher seed, but I doubt. Well, I'm just questioning if they will be as high of a seed just because they're not going to sneak up on anyone this year. So, in the regular season, anytime the Suns come to town for any team, that's going to be like circled on the calendar. Like, all right, we want to show up against the Suns, like prove that we can take these guys down. And of course, the Baron. Leave it to the Baron to point out the negative. Well, yeah, he's their best player. Okay, so what did you expect to happen? Also, Team USA has one actual big man in Adebayo, but
I was gonna say I don't even know if he's I don't know if he's an international big man. He's an NBA big man. I don't think he's an international big man.
Yeah, he's also I noticed in that last Spain game, he's really having problems just hanging on to the ball. Like it was hitting him in the hands and bouncing off a lot. But he made some big shots. I mean, still glad. I'd rather have him on the team than not. But if there's one area where Team USA is clearly lacking, it's in the big guys. Like I was worried about the Gasol brothers working them out. Not surprised that Gobert is having a good game. Again, I think two-time Defensive Player of the Year in the NBA, a great rebounder, and a shot blocker as well. So, and you got to think, if you're France, he is the centerpiece of the team. He's the best player on that team in his prime.
Yeah, look, that man is such a lockdown defender. That man shut down the league for several months. All right, that's how good he is.
The ultimate lockdown.
Yeah.
Kawhi, unfortunately, looks like he is going to stay with the Clippers. But whatever. I mean, that's live your life. All right, if you want to go to the Clippers, if you want to stay with the Clippers, I guess. But after his opt out, it seemed to be kind of the same thing as like the Chris Paul thing. Just maybe I'll sort of test the waters. But Kawhi's a pretty low key guy, so I feel like in the back of his mind, this was always sort of his plan. And then you opt out and you get maxed out on a huge deal after that.
Yeah, we don't know what the new terms are, but it definitely does seem like that was his whole plan. Which is like, all right, I'm going to opt out of the deal I have now. We'll restructure a new deal, and then go from there. So, I mean, look, good for the Clippers because I was worried, man. They definitely mortgaged their future to bring in Kawhi and Paul George. So if they'd have lost one or either, particularly Kawhi, if they would have lost Kawhi, they'd have been really screwed. But
especially Kawhi, yeah.
But
that would have pulled the rug out from under him. But good for Steve Ballmer.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Good for him. Good for that guy.
Developers. It's about that Larry O.B. One other little bit of contract news before we check in with the fight doctor. This is from the NFL, which technically has begun with the Hall of Fame game last night.
That's true. Did you watch any of that, by the way?
No, I did not. I was golfing.
Okay, I knew it was on. I did not watch a single second of that game. I don't know what it like. I love football, but I just couldn't care less about preseason football.
I will say this: the most entertaining part to me was, of course, even preseason, you can bet on everything. So I saw that, which made me laugh. I was like, why would you bet on this? Like, no one that is even going to be playing. Maybe like a couple guys for like 2 series, and that's it. But I knew it was going to happen when I threw it out there. Did entice Will to bet on it. I don't know if he won or not, but I just wanted to see if I could like bait him into betting on the freaking Hall of Fame game, which he did.
I saw that they released a new episode of What's on the Menu Daily today, but I didn't check it out, so I'm sure he'll go into details if he won or lost a bet on the show.
If you're betting on the Hall of Fame game, you've already lost, okay?
That's true.
There are no winners here, only losers.
They actually do just take, even if you pick the right team, they just keep your money when you make that bet.
And they just block your account. Like, we can't allow you to continue to bet, sir.
We actually by law cannot allow you to do this.
Wow. When I saw, I was like, oh, wow, Hall of Fame game's already tonight. Okay, that's cool. And then I like, oh man, people are probably betting on this, and of course we'll bet. Love you, Will.
Being played by
shout out
guys.
to Will. He is moving. I believe tomorrow he's moving out to Scottsdale, starting his new job. He'll be producing the morning show over there. I don't have the numbers, but he told me the first show is August 16th. So I'm going to try to tune into that. And
moving out to Scottsdale, the rich part of Phoenix. Nice.
Yeah, and he's producing a show. So big ups. That's the goal for, I know, everyone that was working at the Fan in my radio crew. That's the gig that we're all trying to get back to. So shout out to Will making big moves.
Hell yeah. Good job, Will. Good on you, kid.
Now, we do have, yes, I know there were circumstances that none of us were in favor of based on this interim thing. But nonetheless, we do have a pay-per-view in the UFC, and it does involve our favorite, America's sweetheart, one Mr. Derrick Lewis. So we do need to check in with the Fight Doctor.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. The heavyweight champion of the world.
T-Bo, T-Bo, T-Bo.
Man, it is still weird seeing Maria Taylor on an NBC production. Just saw her pop up at halftime. I was like, oh, that's right. Here she is. But anyway, yeah. So we do got a big UFC pay-per-view this weekend. Like Ronnie alluded to, there is a title on the line. I guess. I mean, it's a title, but
it's a title.
I don't know. That's kind of bringing up a whole thing. There's actually been a big debate online in the MMA community this week about like how much of the titles have been devalued because of Dana's bullshit. But
I don't give a fuck.
Clearly, he does not. Clearly,
he absolutely does not. That is a fact. But yeah. So we will have UFC 265 coming to us live from Houston. What better place than to have our boy Derrick Lewis headlining in a interim heavyweight title fight. He'll be taking on Cyril Gane. Definitely an interesting matchup here. Derrick Lewis, he's currently riding a 4-fight win streak. Should be fighting for the legit title, but as we've discussed in the past with this whole thing of Ngannou wanting to delay the fight to September, Dana, for whatever, was like, well, whatever, we're just going to do an interim title 3 months after Ngannou won the title, and has not even said he won't defend it or is injured. But anyway, so Lewis, again, like I said, riding a 4-fight win streak here. Actually, he is tied for the most knockouts in UFC history, so he'll be looking to maybe take that record from Vitor Belfort, and he'll be taking on Cyril Gane, who's currently 9-0, kind of a nice even record. 3 wins by knockout, 3 wins by submission, 3 by decision. His last 3 wins have all been against, fairly impressive names. TKO against Junior Dos Santos. Dos Santos may be over the hill, but for a young guy, that's still a big name to have on there. Former heavyweight champ. Then he had a very lopsided decision win against Jairzinho Rosenstrike, who at the time was a top contender, and then had a lopsided decision against Alexander Volkov as well, who's also a top contender. So, Gane's got some nice wins. I'm really intrigued by this matchup because, everybody knows what Derrick Lewis is going to do.
Oh, yes.
He's going to throw a big right hand at you and knock you out. Cyril Gane is kind of he's a Muay Thai specialist, which a lot of Muay Thai fighters like to get in close and work from the clinch. And one would think, well, getting in close is kind of not ideal because Lewis wants you to get in close.
Now you're in the kitchen, yeah.
Because now maybe he can throw like a big uppercut like he did to I'm blanking. Curtis Blades.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to want you to come in and throw that. So it's a real interesting style matchup. And I actually put in a clip here. It was a tweet that I had sent you and Justin the other day about what Cyril Gane's strategy for the fight has been, which is, I look for that here. Basically, he told his guys, like, look, I don't care about technique. I don't care anything else. Like, all I want you to do is just throw bombs with your right at me. And,
got to get ready.
it's the best strategy because that's all Derrick Lewis is going to do. Lewis is not a wrestler, not a submission guy. He's got a heavy right hand, and if he hits you, he's gonna knock you out. This
one
is
thing I will say, if this is still pretty much up to date here with the line, see Lewis is plus 270 here. Yes, like it's really just for the most part one dimension that is Lewis, but the fact that he has been so consistently able to pull that off, even when you know that's what's coming, there's something to be said for that. I think he gets overlooked just from we've seen him, get gassed out a couple times, whatever. Even he's admitted that. But there is a certain level of athleticism still to be able to do this. Even with Volkov, he was pretty much just going to lose. And then he just still, at the end, just takes it full out. So, to stand in there and be able to still get one of those off, it just takes that split second. And if that is still plus 270, I'm really wanting to bet on Lewis just because that's my boy.
Yeah, I mean, I understand where the line is coming from. Gone, the younger fighter, extremely talented, extremely well-rounded, technically, unquestionably the better fighter. His last fight was just an absolute decimation of Volkov, and he just looked amazing as far as just his overall game, stand-up game, everything looked fantastic. But I can't bet against Lewis. I can't bet against our boy. If I was hard pressed, I would probably put it on Lewis. I think he only needs one shot. That's all he needs. So you have to. It's like what everybody said about Ngannou. You have to beat him for 15 minutes. He just has to hit you once, and that's it.
Yeah, and that's it. And just take your whole soul out of your body. And actually, I saw a pretty entertaining article. I'll have to send it to you on ESPN today, where they talked to a few people that have fought against Lewis, just what it's like to get hit by him. And they're just yeah, he hits really hard. You don't realize it. You just think, all right, this guy's just a stand and slug it out kind of guy. But it does hit harder than you think even. And that's what he's going to do. And you're just wow, that really hurt a lot.
Well, I mean, look at the Curtis Blades fight. It was the one punch he landed.
Yeah.
In Blades, I mean, granted, Blades is a wrestler, so eventually you knew he was going to dive in for the takedown. But Blades actually looked good in the first round, kind of kept his distance, picked apart Lewis, and then as soon as he dove in for that takedown, one uppercut and Blades was out. So yeah, again, it's the threat. It is the whole thing of, again, you have to beat him for 15 minutes. He has to hit you once. So I mean, I definitely kind of like the fact that he's the underdog. Again, I understand why he is, but I mean, again, for entertainment purposes only, please believe that.
Of course. And
yeah,
also,
I kind of like.
And a rare not shout out to StreamYard, messing with my buttons, so I can't get there as fast. I'm not crazy about this new layout.
No, the new layout sucks. But yeah, I definitely like Lewis at this one. I think that's pretty insane value. That he's an underdog for this one. So I would definitely take that if I was betting. But looking at the rest of the card real quick here, I do also got to make a note that originally there was a women's bantamweight title fight between Amanda Nunes and Juliana Pena scheduled for this one. Unfortunately, a couple days ago, I think it was on the 29th, Nunes tested positive for the Rona. So that fight will be postponed, moved to another date. Hopefully, maybe a time when Nunes can, headline a fight instead of having to be forced into the co-main event.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
So now the new co-main event is a bantamweight fight here between Jose Aldo and Pedro Munoz. Aldo, who recently had a 3-fight losing streak, but bounced back, got a decision win over Chito Vera there. Munoz also kind of on a nice little had a win streak going, then lost a few, now won another one. I think he beat Jimmy Rivera in his last fight. One thing I will say, Aldo, yeah, he's a bit older, although he's still actually pretty young. It's just he was so successful when he was young. It feels like it's been around forever.
Yeah, it's like the Ricky Rubio thing. It's just he's
yeah,
got to
exactly.
be 80, right?
Yeah, I think Aldo's actually younger than us, but that just tells you how how quick he got into it. He's still an exciting fighter. He still kicks like a motherfucker. And Pedro Munoz, 3 of his last 4 fights, has earned the Fight of the Night bonus. So I think that's kind of an interesting fight. I think that could be a real fun one. I kind of like Munoz in it. Aldo winning wouldn't shock me, but I like Munoz a little bit more, so I think I would go him if I was laying a bet on this one. In what I think is going to be the fight of the night, welterweight fight between Michael Chiesa and Vicente Luque. Chiesa, of course, a former Ultimate Fighter winner, riding a 4-fight win streak, currently ranked number 5 in the welterweight division. Vicente Luque, one of my favorite fighters out there currently. The man is incapable of a boring fight. Definitely a guy that's had a lot of win. He's had a lot of win streaks going, and then he gets, just a sudden loss when he starts really building momentum. But he's currently riding a 3-fight win streak, all 3 by stoppage, including a submission win over former champion Tyron Woodley. I think it's 4 out of Luque's last 7 fights have been fight of the nights, and then one of the ones that wasn't a fight of the night, he got the performance bonus. So again, just super exciting fighter. Give me Vicente Luque in that one. I think he'll move up to start getting some top 5 fights in the division.
I'm excited to watch that one, though. And you can see even on the betting, I mean, it's pretty much like a toss-up.
Yeah.
The split on that.
Yeah, I mean, Chiesa, it'll definitely be an interesting matchup because Luque, again, he doesn't get paid by the hour. He's got 20 wins, and I think 18 of them were by stoppage. Chiesa, a bit more of a submission expert. I think he's got 11 submission wins in his career with no knockouts. So Chiesa's going to look to get on the ground. Luque, he can scramble pretty well. So I think he'll do a decent job of keeping it standing. But I think that's going to be an exciting fight. I like that one for fight of the night. Women's fight, not overly excited about. Just two kind of point fighters. I'm not expecting too much out of that one. The opening fight, I did just want to bring up specifically because there's 2 fighters I'm not overly familiar with. I know Yadon Song. He recently had a 9-match undefeated streak until he just recently lost to Kyler Phillips. But his opponent, Casey Kinney, he's coming off a split decision loss to Dominic Cruz. The thing that interested me about him, and I know, Ronnie, you will appreciate this, he is the last featherweight champion in the Tachi Palace Fights organization.
Oh, all right.
So just because of that, I got to go Casey Kinney in this one. Got to back that up.
A big Central Valley weekend. When he wins, Torres wins. Later that night, woo, Central Valley, we on the map.
Exactly.
Out here hitting fools.
So yeah, I think there are definitely some interesting matchups in this card, especially the those top 3 main event, co-main event, the one right before that. I'm really looking forward to this, and I think it's going to be a good card this weekend.
Yeah, and we talked about it at length before, how screwed this is for Ngannou. And my also thing is, in a way, it's kind of shitty for Lewis too, because he should be getting a legit title fight. So even if he wins, the people are gonna be like, oh well, it shouldn't have been interim, which it shouldn't have been. So I hope that doesn't follow him around. But if there is one thing about Lewis, he definitely will just take fights, and certainly he's not going to turn down whatever capacity it is, title fight in his hometown.
Yeah, I mean, this absolutely should be, his fight should be against Ngannou. Again, Ngannou said, hey, yes, I will fight him, but I'm going to need, an extra month or so. And again, for whatever reason, that set Dana off. So now this is an interim title fight. I guess if there's any positive, if Lewis wins, that means that his next fight will be for the main title, because that's, they don't like to have interim title defenses if the actual champion is healthy. So yeah, look, here's the hope, and Lewis gets the win. It's going to be entertaining no matter what. I mean, Lewis, win or lose, entertaining guy. Definitely
he can't not be entertaining. Yes,
stick around for the post-fight interview no matter what.
I'm sure. I haven't even seen any of it. I mean, I saw a couple quotes from it, but I'm sure the weigh-in interview was also pretty entertaining. I'm just going to go on a limb there.
I haven't gotten to watch it either, but I was planning on checking that out sometime tonight just to hear what he had to say.
Well, there you have it. I will look forward to that. If, again, entertainment purposes only, but if you do not want to pay for it, there are ways. There are ways. So, enjoy. Please do try to take a look at this fight.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know we haven't really done Fight Talk the last couple of weeks. It's honestly mostly because the Olympics have been around, and I've kind of prioritized that over watching some of these UFC cards they've been putting out. But this is one that's like, all right, Derrick Lewis is on the card. It's getting our attention. It's getting a segment.
Oh yes. And shout out Torres Jr. Come on, let's get that goal. Super heavyweight.
Yep, definitely. But yeah, absolutely check out that fight, folks. There are ways.
Hey,
Just know
me and
that.
Dana White want to know who's streaming tonight.
Who's streaming tonight? Oh, it's my boy. Come on, D. Lewis. Let's get it done. Let's get it
Please
done.
hope we win.
In
Especially
fact,
for the
as soon as
hometown crowd.
go back inside. If I see that plus 270, I'm betting on it right away.
You already know, like, he's in his hometown. When he gets that Fat Pat playing for his entrance, that place is gonna go crazy.
Oh, it's gonna be hype. It's gonna be very, very hype.
Oh yeah.
And then no matter win or lose, I'm just gonna maybe I can make a prop bet on this, but I'm gonna assume post-fight interview he's gonna mention something about he's gonna have to take a shit. Usually that's the way his adrenaline turns down after fights. It usually comes up. It seems to be a running thread, like at least 3 or 4 times.
Would you call it an adrenaline dump?
Maybe, yeah. Just like, you got to come down from that peak, you know.
His adrenaline dump is actually a dump. That's really what it is.
Oh yeah, the last one was like, I think his mom was like off camera, like, "No, Mom, I gotta take a shit." All right, yeah, I'll see you after. Like, oh, what? Sorry, I didn't know we were on.
Ooh, KD got 26 right now, shooting well.
Well, I'm gonna go watch the second half of that
Yes.
and hopefully see a gold medal win. So come on, USA, don't let me down. Seems like you guys are figuring it out, but this would be a bad time to, take a dump, take an adrenaline shit,
Yes.
and of course,
Fuck what they talking about. USA in this whole.
cannot stress that enough. But thank you for joining us. I hope you guys enjoy the last weekend of the Olympics. Of course, any UFC pay-per-view, always exciting. And we'll get back with you guys on Monday. Tyler, got anything else before we shut it down?
No, just enjoy the end of the Olympics. Again, we won't have the summer iteration for another 3 years. We'll have the winter next year, of course. But enjoy it. Glad we've seemingly been able to get through it. Sad to see it go, but glad it was here. Glad we made it through. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll be back here recapping on Monday all the big stuff from the weekend. We love you. You know the drill. Keep the fire.
Keep the fire. Tebow, baby.
Woo!
At the buzzer.